gardening friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is Tuesday, May the 14th. I just wanted to show you guys quickly what is blooming in my garden, and there's some really pretty things that are growing. Some of my tulips, if you've watched my last video, some of my tulips in that video have faded and I've cut back some, but this patch here, I think in my last video, they were just like tiny green flower bulbs, and they are starting to color up now. Let me see if I can show you a little bit here. You see a tiny bit of pink coming up right here. So I think this variety is a later blooming compared to the other ones, because I planted a whole patch of them on this side, and then on the other side also, they are just starting to color now. So can't wait to see the pink on these ones. Most of my calendulas that I started from seeds are in full bloom now. Very pretty. Different color, because this package was a variety pack, so I'm getting variations of the orange and the yellow blooms on them. These I bought, I think was it last week. They are still looking fantastic. Notice that there's some faded blooms, but then the newer ones are the darker color blooms on them. Same thing with the white one, still looking amazing. A lot of my, I think a majority of my roses here are putting on buds. The one thing about my roses this year that really surprised me though, that they are experiencing a lot of leaf rust. I don't know if I have an example, because I literally defoliage. Oh yes, right here. This one is actually not that bad, but yeah, here you go. So I've been getting a lot of them on my roses, but what I have observed is that they are on my new roses that I bought this year. My more mature one that are a year and older have not gotten any yet. So I'm not really sure what is causing the rust on the newer roses. This one is Brandy. See all the new growth here? So pretty. I love seeing new growth because it tells me that there's blooms coming. Ah, look at this color. Is she not pretty? Wow. I definitely want to plant more of this type of coloring for in the fall for next spring. And here's another beautiful bloom. Look at this one. So pretty. So this orange one right here, I had a whole bunch of them all along here and in that patch over there, but they are all out of bloom now. I think because they started blooming first, they get the most sun, so perhaps that's why they're done blooming. But the one I really wanted to show was this dark one right here. Look at this color combination. Is it not so pretty? Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know. I think this patch looked way better in person than it does on camera, to be honest with you, because you're able to see the whole entire span of the garden space with all the colors all in bloom. On camera, you can only capture so much in one frame, right? And this is the newest one. I don't think any of these were in bloom in my last video, but look at this dark, what is this, like purple plum burgundy color. Oh, I absolutely love it, and I'm definitely adding more of this coloring because I think it looks so pretty with the lighter pinks. Very pretty. And this once again, the blooms are huge. Look at it's in comparison to my hand, is so big. Really loving this combination of colors that I have picked to go into my garden this year. A whole bunch of orange ones that are still in the back there. Once again, my roses are putting on a ton of new growth. Many of them have budded up, so I think I should be getting some flowers or roses very soon. Oh yes, I added more of the new tags that I purchased all along the garden. Looking amazing, loving it. Thank goodness my heuchras are recovering and they're starting to push out some new growth. I was so sad when I seen all of the winter damage on them, and I thought, like, look at this one, still looking quite sad, but this one is recovering nicely, so I'm very happy about that. My bleeding heart back there is just huge. It's covering my, I have a penstemon here that is just right under her. This bleeding heart is just completely covering it right now. I hope the penstemon can still put on some growth even though it's being covered. grew some more of these Nicotiana from seeds, and love, adore this color. So pretty. So this one is a very, like I mentioned in my last video, a huge surprise for me. I bought it last year, and the coloring on it was more of a bright green. This year, for whatever reason, it is pushing out a totally different color. But you know what? Nevertheless, I'm loving this color in my garden. It really pops, especially when I look out my patio door. Most of the forget-me-nots are pretty much almost done. As you can see, they're actually starting to form seed pods here. So if you leave them alone like this and you allow them to go to seed, you will find seedlings all over your garden next spring. So they will start growing baby seedlings, and then it will grow throughout the season. Next year is when they flower. So I guess these are considered what, biennials? Yeah, but I love the look of them. So pretty. And this one's doing amazingly well. This one actually is the only out of the 3 that survived over the winter for me. I love this color so much. I still plan to keep it in a pot so that I can put it here in my middle area here for next year. This one's a bit faded in color. Not really sure why. It was in a very shaded area, so I've just moved it out into this location where it will receive a bit more sunlight. So I'm hoping that it will produce more new flowers for me. This one faded quite a bit, so I pruned off all of the old blooms, and it seems like it's starting to push out new flowers for me again. And my irises, look over there. Oh my gosh, let's walk across there. Looking so pretty. Oh my gosh, don't you hate when the squirrels do this? Look at that, just dig up holes in your pots. Drives me crazy. Look at this, oh my goodness. Last week, I think they were just starting to bud up, and look at it now, full of blooms. I can't remember if these are scented. Yes, they are, so they're slightly scented. This is the one that's really scented, and look at it. It's starting to form a whole bunch of flower buds. Can't wait to see this one. The purple on this one is really pretty. It's a very light lavender purple color. But this one is year 2. I bought it last year, so I got 2 of them, 2 pots. Last year they had a few stems that have flowers, but this year they're really putting on a really nice show. Love that color. And look at these guys. These are my violas that I started from seeds. They're finally blooming for me. This is probably my favorite color out of the yellow and this one. And look, these are the pansies I also started from seeds. So cute. My asters that I started from seeds are starting to bud up too. Look, some flower buds. I think these ones are starting to form some flower buds too, so can't wait to see what color I have there, because it's a variety pack, so I have no idea what color will be coming up. Geraniums that I started from seed. These are the Maverick light pink one, and look, starting to see some colors. So the packet I think is supposed to have like 10 seeds in it. I actually got 11 or 12 seeds, and it was like 100% germination. So very happy. This one, petunias, started from seeds also. Really successful germination rate for this one also, 100%. And look at the color of it, wow. So I think it's gonna, I hope it meshes well with this pink color, because they're all in one pot here. That deep burgundy purple plum tulip, so pretty. And doesn't it look gorgeous with my orange jam here? This is totally tangerine, I believe. I bought it as a small clump last year. It bloomed quite a bit last year, but the clump this year is ginormous. And look at all the flower buds on it. I loved it so much, I bought 2 more to go into the garden. This one I probably will be able to divide after it's stopped flowering for me. Here is an example of flower rust on the leaves. This is what it looks like. And if you flip on the underside is where all the spores, I believe, are located. Ugh, I had to pick up a whole bunch, and this poor thing suffered a little bit because I started to spray her down with some baking soda mix, and I think she got burnt a little bit because if you look closely here, poor thing got burnt. But I don't know what else to do. If I don't spray it down, it's gonna lose all of its leaves anyways to the rust. But if I spray it, it kind of got burnt, I think, because these are like new leaves, so they're a bit more sensitive to the chemical. So we'll see how it progresses. My Globe Masters are starting to flower. This one should be flowering any day now. It's a purple one and it should be like ginormous. Excited to see that. Planted that also in the fall. Ooh, finally, my yellow rose, Moonlight Romantica, starting to really bush out. Last year it did very little, but this year it looks like it's super healthy. And these ones, I can't wait for all of these roses to flower. It's gonna look amazing. I gotta say, I'm so impressed with this one. It's not my favorite color, but what I'm impressed with is how long the blooms have lasted. So this one, I bought a packet of these Snapdragons and I started them from seeds. And this one have been in bloom for like, I don't know, 5-6 weeks now, maybe even more, maybe even longer. Yeah, and it's still going strong. I think these are supposed to be the perennial type of Snapdragon, so hopefully they overwinter well in the planter here I have. If not, I have planted some in the ground, so we'll watch to see how they do. Creeping phlox are so pretty in the springtime. They add so much color, super low maintenance. They tolerate pretty much all different conditions, drought tolerant too, if I'm not mistaken. They do only bloom in spring, so by June, July, they're done, they're gone. But then they have these evergreen leaves here that will still look quite pretty as ground covers. I find for my garden, out of all the colors I've ever planted, this is the only color that have done really well. The rest of them don't seem to thrive that great in my soil. So I'm not even sure what the reason is, to be honest with you. Oh, this heuchera is so pretty. Look at the color. Look at this deep purple. So pretty. I hope it mounts up a little bit bigger so that it's much more showy than it is now. It did suffer from some winter damage. That's why it's still quite small. Oh, thank goodness. Look at these. They're finally bouncing back. These are the heucheras I had in a pot, and over the winter, it pretty much died back to like nothing. So it's putting on a lot of new leaves. Super happy. And then of course I have the white coneflower here. I thought it was dead, but it is making a comeback also. Super happy. My tray of foxgloves, I'm still deciding what I want to do with these. Originally my plan was in the fall, so I'm just going to let them grow in these pots throughout the season, and then in the fall I would tuck them in the back there for next year for them to flower. But that might change because it's getting quite congested back there, so I don't know if that's still a good idea or not, but we shall see. My alliums here are starting to flower. These have gotten smaller and smaller over the years. They use the flowers used to be a lot bigger, but it seems like they have divided themselves or made babies, and the flower itself are smaller, but there are more of them. I hope that makes sense. More of the dark purple tulip, super pretty. Some of the tulips are still here. Love that plum color. Ooh, this gem is still going strong. Look how pretty her coloring is. I forget which, I think this is Temple Rose if I'm not mistaken. Oh, let me see if I can focus in. Yes, look how pretty the coloring is. And look how many buds are on that one plant. So pretty. Here are my new labels. More tulips on this side. So like I mentioned earlier, this variety here, I think it's called Finona, Finona, N-O-L-A. They seem to bloom later than the rest of them. They're just starting to bloom now. But I absolutely love the coloring. Looks a little bit greenish here with pink inside. So like that patch way over there, I have a patch of these pink ones on this side, and they're just starting to bloom. This patch here of Candy Tuft was a total surprise for me. Last year it pushed out a whole bunch of these green leaves and 0 flowers, nothing. So I'm like, okay, I wonder if it was a weed or if it was a flower. Springtime, it flushed out all these flower buds, and I was like, it looks like Candy Tuft, but I wasn't sure because I actually don't remember planting them, to be honest with you. But isn't that pretty? Gorgeous, huge clump. I think I've read that you can divide them once they mature and they form a big clump. So that would be my intention eventually to do, is to divide them and spread them. And here's more creeping phlox around my garden. This one, like I mentioned, it has done okay. It's not super healthy, haven't spread too much. So this color is so-so in my garden. And these are the new gems that I've just added. Don't you just love the colors on these? I find them so cute. So pretty. It's like sunset color, is it not? Very pretty. And so my Nicotianas are still going super strong. Look at the beautiful colors. Love these guys, and they've been blooming for like ages, weeks and weeks. So pretty. More calendulas. I gotta say, out of the packet, this coloring is probably by far my favorite. Light peachy with a little bit of yellow and brown in the center. Very pretty. These orange ones are okay too. Not my favorite, but they're okay in the garden. Oh, this one's the other coloring that's one of my favorite. So gorgeous. Plant it amongst the other colors. Look very pretty. So I have more of the geraniums that I started from seeds. They're starting to bulk up quite a bit, and same thing with the Dusty Millers. These were also started from seed indoors, and then I transplanted them outdoors. Distant Drums is putting on a lot of new growth. So far, fingers crossed, no leaf rust on them yet. Oh my gosh, look at this iris, so pretty. Look at the deep purple plum color. Same thing last year, I had only a few stems of flower blooms. This year, look at all the flower buds. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I can't remember if this one is scented or not. So here's an example of what I'm talking about in terms of having to take off all of the leaves on my roses here. This one was doing so well, pushed out a whole bunch of new leaves, and out of nowhere, I think this one got the leaf rust first. It started to get leaf rust, and because of it, I had to take off all the leaves so it doesn't get worse. I hope it survives. I hope it bounces back, but it's looking so sad right now. Poor thing. And oh yes, some of my lilies are, I don't know if you can tell, this one is hard to tell. They are starting to form, oh, look at this clump of lilies here. They're starting to form flower buds on them. Oh, look at this one. This is the one I wanted to show. Look at all the flower buds on this one. I don't know what color it is because these were the variety packs, so I have an assortment of colors, but very happy to see them forming flower buds. And the flowers, I remember last year they were ginormous, so they're gonna be really pretty when they're in bloom. I just picked up this one. It's a sedum, a variety of seed. What is it called? Oh, sedum sun sparkler. Look at the color of the new growth. It's pink, like baby pink. I wasn't planning to buy anymore, but I could not pass up this color. It is so pretty. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, to be honest. I have no more space in my garden, so I'm thinking the only option I have is to plant them in a flower in a pot, similar to these ones right here, and then let it mature. Gorgeous. My gosh, can't get over how pretty this pink variation is. Yay, my Sun King Aurelia have survived the winter. I thought it was dead, but no, it's not. It's starting to come back. So I have two in pots here. These are so pretty amongst like different flowers or in different settings. They just pop and make such a great combination in terms of in the garden planted with other things. So I have two in the pots here, and then I have one planted there, and then also one planted amongst there. So I can't wait to show you when it is in full bloom, or not bloom, sorry, grow bigger. And these are the my coleus I started from seeds. This is so pretty. Look at this pink coloring. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it is very, very pretty. This one I made the mistake of putting in full sun, so it is a bit sunburnt. Yeah, it's not looking so great, but the color should be somewhat like this, pink with like deep purple and green around the edges. This one, do you not love this color? So for Mother's Day, this is a present from my son, and I just absolutely love this. It's like a vintage look to it. So it's like pink with a bit of lighter pink and then a green, what is it, edging on here. So pretty. I'm hoping that I can bring it indoors to overwinter. Last year I was unsuccessful in terms of wintering them inside. I did not know it at the time, but when I brought it inside last year, not this color, different color, it was doing fine, and then it started to decline. And then when it kind of died on me, I looked underneath around the crown area there were a whole bunch of what do they call it? Roly-polies or potato bugs. I think they were eating at the root system. So they two that I tried to overwinter did not make it. I'm really hoping I can overwinter this one. Oh yes, I wonder if you guys have all noticed, I have pulled out all of my forget-me-nots that were inside the garden there. They were getting overcrowded, leggy, so they were flopping all over the place. Secondly, I find with forget-me-nots, if you leave it too long and if the weather is a bit too wet because of too much rain, it will start to form mildew. So I took them all out because I did not want to have to deal with powdery mildew amongst my roses or my other plants. So I had to sacrifice the blooms, even though they still had like a lot of flowers like this left. But I'm like, you know what? It's not worth taking the chance of them forming powdery mildew, and then I have to deal with them on my roses. Yep. So yeah, so this is my garden. Some roses have gone over, but others are starting to bloom. So still plenty of colors, looking great still. And thank you so much for watching my video today. See you in my next one. Bye now.